Saxthorpe Farms, and today we get cows. It's been a while, obviously, and it was always a bit of an ongoing decision as to what point I brought the cow farm on here, but we're going to go for it. We do need to raise some cash, but we also have over 300 grand's worth of canola, so it shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to use the 2 Volvos to get this sold, and then we're going to pick ourselves up the cow farm and get all the bits we need to run the cow farm that we don't have already and get our first lot of cows. So yeah, time to start changing things. The plan, before all of you start to think I was just turning this into his normal Let's Play, I am going to have some dairy cows because they are a regular source of good income, but we're going to be running predominantly a beef fattening farm. So using some slight exploit-ish level mechanics, I guess. And something that I've used at least once on the Barley Spring Patron series is if you buy beef cattle, take them back to the farm, feed them for at least about 11 hours, I'll say, you can then make quite a bit of profit. So yeah, it's quite a nice way of doing things. So that's what I'm probably going to keep them for more than that. But basically what happens is you buy them at 0% health, and then every hour that you feed them, they gain 10% up to 100% health, and then they're worth more. I'm probably going to keep them a little bit longer than that. We'll probably do like a month, and then we'll take them and sell them. But a little bit like Joe Seals does, I guess. But I'm not sure how long he keeps his for, but we're going to be keeping them for about a month. So just kind of finishing them off. And yeah, I'm going to use that to make money. So again, it's not quite what I normally do. Having to buy everything is going to limit the scale that we can do that at the start, because I'm going to start off with a smaller animal trailer. So that's something that's going to grow over time. I don't know how much of it we'll actually do on camera. That might be something I do in the background, but I really like the cow farm on here. It was always a goal to buy it, so we're going to do it. And basically, I didn't want to do another video quite so soon of recycling a field super quick, which is the other job that we need to do in November. We need to plant a field of wheat, which is even more important now because we will use the straw from that. So, yeah, so feed-wise, we've got the grass bales that we got off of the last contract. We've got about 1 million litres of maize silage, so loads of that, and plenty of straw because we kept that, so should be good for coming up with a way of feeding the cows. I am using Maize Plus. I am not using Enhanced Animal System, so that does affect not really the feeding, but what we have available. And if we were to get into breeding or anything like that. So at the moment, just basic Maize Plus Animal Food Edition. So quick check of the sales to see if anything that we might need is in there. So particularly a large animal trailer would be good. There is another Fendt combine. We do need another combine at some point, but basically 70 grand per trailer load. So we are going to be pretty good, I think, for income. Let's say it was like £330,000 according to Time Saving Stock Check, which is a super handy mod. If you're on PC, definitely pick that up from ModHub and rate it 5 stars. I used to use the sell price trigger mod, and I do want to add that back in because I do sometimes forget. But Time Saving Stock Check is much better in a way because it lets you see the current price. It lets you see the kind of theoretical best price. The game may never achieve that. It may achieve more. It's just kind of theoretical. And yeah, super handy. So, and having 2 lorries to do this is also really handy because it made it much quicker. I could have even got one of the tractors running with one of the big trailers, but This we were moving 96,000 litres at a time. So yeah, pretty good. Nice way of clearing things out. And we now have enough money to buy the cow farm, so I'm going to do that. Thankfully, we also have the maximum 25% discount that we can get through better contracts. So £196,000 to buy the farm is pretty nice, I think. It's got 2 big cow sheds plus the 2 open pastures. So I may rework the open pastures a little bit. I may turn that into 1 big open pasture. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. I managed to overtake the lorry on auto drive on the corner. It slowed down a lot. I did not. I'm not competitive at all. No, not me. Racing against an AI model. So yeah. I guess speaking of which, if you're not on Discord, and I've not mentioned it already, because I'm kind of batch recording stuff before I go on holiday, I just ordered a Logitech G29 wheel, which I am super excited about trying. I won't be using it for everything because it doesn't really work when you're playing on a laptop, but I'm using it for some stuff. And I've got a Logitech G Extreme joystick coming as well. So Black Friday sales, yay. Also, yay, auto drive adding life to the map. I really like, it's only me and 1 other vehicle, but I really like having other vehicles moving around. I usually play without traffic because the AI traffic is dumb, but having some stuff moving around the map is really nice. So yeah, last load going. So actually there's the auto driver's on the way with the last 11,000 litres, so not quite the last load, but we've brought the farm and we're back up to a decent amount of cash, which is good because we need to get a feed mixer, an animal trailer, some stuff for mixing the feed with, and I think that's it actually. I think that's it for now. At some point we'll need a slurry tanker, but yeah. I was very tempted. We do need a second big combine for the summer, so that's a long way off yet. And I had said I wasn't going to sell stuff, but actually I'm probably going to sell the 2 old combines at some point. So get ourselves another big Fendt combine, I think, or another big combine of a similar size with the same working width. Doesn't need to be another Fendt. Would be nice, but doesn't need to be. So, right, that is it. So £228,000 back in the bank. Really happy with what we made off of the canola. And up at the store now, it is time to get this stuff back to the yard. So I brought up a couple of the 7 Series because they're just towing it back to the farm. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need the horsepower to actually work it. Yes, this is a big planter. It is not a UK style planter, but it's really good and I really like it. So we're just going to go with it. And it will make planting much quicker. That will mean that come planting season, we will hopefully have time to head over to the oaks and get some planting done. And planting there will be much quicker. So probably what I'll have to do is stick the planter on the load. Actually, we probably need a second low loader because we'll need to get the planter on a low loader and the Fendt. So yeah, pretty sure you wouldn't be able to drive that on the road at 20 odd miles an hour, and it wouldn't be time efficient. But yeah, and the big cultivator. So this cultivator I actually use a fair bit when I am doing testing because it's big and that makes it quick if you want to cultivate a field and for some reason you don't want to F12 it. So, and for quite a long time obviously we didn't have F12, so if I was testing stuff, if you needed to cultivate a field, you used a big cultivator. So yeah, we'll get that sent back and then we will do a bit of shopping and a bit of mod adding as well. In fact, I think I might have already added them by the time you see me doing the shopping. So as I said, we need a feed mixer, we need an animal trailer and a few other like buckets and stuff like that. But quick last check of the sales just to make sure that you don't need the little 2-track. You need actually useful stuff. So into feed mix. So we're going animal transport first. So trailer that I use loads. It's cheap. It holds a decent amount of animals, and that's pretty much it. And remember, no leasing on here, so we do have to buy it. I was hoping this would fit behind the pickup, but the hitch is way too high. So, and it doesn't have an option for a low hitch. So, yep, using the tractors for it. And I have added, if we get over there, these Schumacher Vertigos, and we're going to go for the 180. I was originally thinking the 120 would be good, but actually we're going to go for the 180. I have enabled the premium DLC at this point, but obviously Maize Plus hasn't been updated yet, so that we can make use of the crops. But yeah, I'm going to go for this one. 30,000, just over 30,000 pounds. I'm going to go for a lower hitch because I think it looks better. And yeah, let's pull the trigger and then get lots of stuff moved about, basically. So we have a lot of kit that we need to move. So the first thing I want to do is add a front loader to the little lights. This is going to be a temporary thing, I think. I don't think this is a long-term solution as a loader tractor. And it's too small to run the mixer, so it's just a temporary solution. But it's fairly cheap, so I think it makes sense to get this done, and it will look cool. I do love the look of this tractor. I'm kind of thinking about using Mark Thor's edit of the 1066 Hydro. So I have brought the Case IH anniversary pack, so I don't have a problem with using the modded version of it that Mark's made, because it's available in the game data files. So you just buying the DLC just gives you access to them in the store. So yeah, I don't have a problem with using it in that sense, because it's not editing anything that is encrypted. So, but for now, we're going to pick the front loader up for this. It's always useful to have more loader tractors in my mind. So yeah. And we've brought over the AgroStar to be our mixer tractor. And so we've got bale spike back at farm, which we'll go pick up. We need a bucket, but I need to add a bucket in because I didn't have any that I really wanted to use installed. So we'll get that delivered up to the farm later on. What are we looking for now? I am going to have a look at buckets. Or just checking actually. Have a bale fork. We also have the pallet fork. We don't really need that up at the cow farm. So yeah, and we only have so that's part of the Lizard T25, which is a little tractor mod pack, which I probably don't need installed anymore. I had a moment where I thought this was for the loader that we've just added to the little DO6, but it's not. The DO6 has its own front loader, so that is okay. And I wanted to check the combinations for that and make sure that they didn't need anything special. So yeah, we will have to see. Well, I do literally go out and install some more bucket options, and the tractor's quite small, so it can't really handle a huge bucket anyway. So yeah, I do want to upgrade it. And it's either going to be the Farm Hydro, or I might get a telehandler if we can raise the cash, just because it'll be quicker. So yeah, we're going to take a couple of trailer loads of maize silage up to the cow farm. Because it's already fermented, we can't tip it in the clamp, so I'm just going to chuck it here. I actually found there's a better spot. You can see it here actually. There's that covered area with the light behind us. I'm going to, in future I will put it there, but for now I'm just going to tip it on the floor. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Never rains in England. It'll be okay. So yeah, we've got a trailer load, which I'm just going to leave it in the trailer over under that shelter for now. That covered area is going to become quite useful, I think, but there's a lot of shed space up here, so it might be that I move some of the kit up here in the future, because we're not short of shed space, but it's quite a juggling act to fit it all in. So some things that we don't need particularly often, we could maybe move up here. Something we don't have that we do need to look at in kind of over the winter in spring is a grass field. So we can grow some grass, but because we need to feed these. So I am getting 1 load of Holsteins. As I said, I might grow that a little bit as we go, but we're not going to be predominantly a dairy farm. We're going to be predominantly beef fattening. So yeah, I figured it was something a bit different, and it's a way, I think, as we scale, of earning money quickly without having to do a lot of long-term feeding or anything like that. So that's my thought. I've brought up all of the excess silage bales that we had, and I have also brought up the 2 full trailer loads of straw that we've got. So, and then the maize silage that you saw. Getting these out is a bit of a faff with the way they auto unloaded, so we are going to have to pick them up from the end, and you'll see we could do with a bigger tractor for this job. We're kind of stacking them and moving them, this is fine, but for loading them in the mixer, it's really not big enough. And it's not a particularly big mixer, to be honest. So yeah, it's something we will need to sort. So I've brought the bucket, had that delivered. Had a couple of pallets of sorghum delivered because that can go in the feed unprocessed. So I brought those from the farm supply pack. So we're going to use grass silage, sorghum, maize silage in our feed. For now, that might change as we go forwards, but that seems like a good thing to me. The animal sheds take baled straw, which is cool because we didn't have to buy a straw blower. I had checked in the mod that they took bales, or I think they took bales. We now need to find where the bales go. So let's go see if we can do that. Trying to obey the laws of physics and not drive around too often with bales high up in the air. So just having a bit of a look around. I've not really explored the farm since I did the farm tour, where I knew that I would that I really liked this farm. This is the feed alley, I think. But we will give that a try and see if it will take a bale. If not, we'll have to have a bit of a drive round and a bit of an explore. Yeah. It's, I really like when animal sheds let you put baled straw in, because, you know, while some farmers use a straw blower, some don't. Some will take a bale in and break it up. So that's what this is going to let us do. A bit like the improvised animal sheds. They have bale triggers as well. So there we go. Cows bedded, ready. And the cows have just arrived, which is pretty good timing. It's a snug fit through the door. So actually having this tractor to do this kind of work is really useful. Getting the bale through the door is a little bit of work. It's entirely possible the trigger extends out, but I quite like taking them actually inside. So, yep. Apologies for the fact that it's a bit dark for half of this video as well. I need the daylight to do the farming jobs that I need to do. So I am trying to get this done. And then we'll have the rest of November 2 and November 3 to do some planting and stuff. I won't have to do it as quite such a rush job like I did the canola field. But yeah, that's the covered area I was saying that I could tip the fermented silage into. But let's mix some feed, or let's unload the cows first. That's probably a better idea because they are waiting just there ever so patiently. Yeah, made pretty heavy use of auto drive in recording this video because it really helped. I had a lot of stuff to do, moving stuff most of the way across the map, and yeah, I only have one waypoint up at this farm so far. That will change over time. So I'm using, as much as I like Auto Drive Guys networks, I started playing on here before it was available, so I had quite a bit of a network built anyway, so I am using my own Auto Drive network. It will send this back to the animal dealer to pick up our first load of beefs. And you can see in front of us, those are the 2 other open pastures. I think I'm going to delete those and create one big custom pasture with grazing. I think they support grazing, but I'm going to make some changes over there because that would be really good for doing the fattening of the beef off of grazing. So right, so we put in grass silage. We need to grab the bucket now and do some sorghum and some maize silage. So I can't remember the model bucket was by, but it's on Mod Hub. It's under front loader tools. It's pretty distinctive. So, and it's the smallest one of the pack. And it basically acts as a bulk shovel. So we can take some sorghum and stick that in. And if what I found is if you close the jaws, it shuts the bucket essentially. So what I could have done there is close the jaws and it would have stopped what appears to be auto-filling, which does sometimes happen with the farm supply pallets. So sorghum goes in the grain mix category. So we could have up to 15%. So that would be 27,000 litres. Never do live maths. You will see me do some awful live maths in the diddly squat video of the weekend. 5,000 times basically 5,000 is not 25,000. Never do live maths. It's yeah, it's never good. It's never good. But yeah, lots of buckets of maize to put in now. I'm contemplating bringing up, I don't know if you remember when we were unloading the bale bunker silo, I brought the belts, and I might bring that up here to do the loading of the maize into the mixer. Now, as long as we do it last, it won't matter. The other option is Missy B's forage storage buildings. I quite like those. I did use those on my whole world save before. So we're going to buy some Angus beefs. We're going to buy the mature Angus beefs. And as I said, I can't remember how much we'll be able to sell them for, but we should make a decent amount of money on this. And basically, I need to make enough. I mean, we have a fair bit of cash in the bank, but I want to make enough that we can fund a big livestock trailer off of the animals. So, because we need the cash for other stuff as well. But the bigger trailer we get, the more we can make each time, and it's one of those things that will grow. So, right, I got it almost full. It wasn't worth putting the last part of a shovel in, and we can get these fed. And yeah, bit of a random one, but none of you are surprised that I've bought the cow farm, are you? It's an own the map challenge. We have to own the map. And I lasted over a year. Yeah, just checking that we were going into the right feed trigger. Yeah. At some point, we should have a look around this farm at some point. I've not, because I did most of it in the dark. But yeah, at some point we'll have a proper look around this farm and you guys can see what it's like if you haven't already, if you haven't played on here. Probably a bunch if you have, or if you're watching Cartech play on here, because although he doesn't have cows, he is based, or he has this farm as well as part of his empire, I guess. But yeah, I think with what we've got plenty of feed to keep us going for quite a while. And we don't have a lot of cows, and I'm not going to go stupid at the start. I am going to crash into that very strong wheelbarrow. That's the manure point if you haven't used these sheds before. And that's the slurry point. So this is the shed that we had on Attingham. Up at the satellite farm that we built. Wellington Farm, I think it was called. But yeah, we'll just get this last load of cows now. And that'll be us done. And a nice expansion to the farm off of the canola crop. So yeah, I think one of my favourite bits of this map is the entrance to this farm. I know this is Norfolk, but this feels to me like so many farm tracks around Essex and Kent where, you know, sort of local to me, the cracked concrete with grass growing through it, it's just so how things are. And yeah, I really like it. And I think it's a nicely laid out farm as well. So we'll get these dropped off and that'll be it. I'm going to say thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members. Really appreciate you guys supporting the channel. A couple of new additions recently, so thank you for that. And if you enjoyed the video, click the like button. Any comments, questions, or suggestions, stick them below. Once these are unloaded, so we now have 16 cows. Wow. I think this farm can hold like 800 or something in total. Anyway, see ya.